This year, we marked 20 years since September 11, and along with that, 20 years of active conflict. Think about how much technology has changed in those intervening years. In the past 20 years, we've gone from 2G wireless networks, which were designed for voice, to 5G networks, which are designed for low latency data and are up to 300 times faster than networks of just 20 years ago. And everything is mobile. Autonomy and the use of artificial intelligence in our society has exploded. From robots that cleaned our houses 20 years ago to level 3 autonomous vehicles already on the road today. Smart sensors that are networked through IoT are everywhere. Sensors on our own wrists and fingers tell us about our own performance. Appliances, speakers, TVs, lights, everything is connected, and we control it all by our voice. And in just the last year, commercial companies have successfully launched numerous missions into space, kicking off a new era of space exploration. We are a country built on the backs of dreamers and disruptors who have accelerated an ever more rapid pace of innovation. It took 15 years to go from 500 million users on the internet to 2 billion. 5 years to get to 4 billion. And by next year, just 2 years later, we are expected to reach 6 billion users. Digital innovation and the accessibility of those innovations continues to accelerate. And many of those innovations are making their way to the digital battle space. In fact, there are 3 major trends that are colliding that are driving us towards a more digital battle space. First, the recognition that to compete with our near-peer adversaries, warfighting must be joint and incorporate all domains. We see this in the introduction of Joint All-Domain Command and Control, or JADC2. Second, the awareness and urgency around the modernization agenda to modernize across the department. And third, a technology revolution that is enabling a new way of fighting. These 3 trends are propelling us towards a much more digital battle space. Let me take a minute to lay out what that battle space looks like. The use of autonomous vehicles has increased and includes assets in all domains of the battle space. The Navy, as an example, is looking to grow unmanned vessels to at least 1/3 of its fleet over just the next 2 decades. The number of sensors on the battlefield that are connecting people to each other and to machines has grown, and recent exercises like the Taiwan Strait War Game and the Army's Project Convergence have shown the power and vulnerabilities of interagency sensors and those of our coalition partners. Augmented reality for each of our services is growing in operational settings and gives us an opportunity to enhance training experiences globally. Artificial intelligence is a central focus of our modernization agenda with a goal of delivering decision superiority. And electronic warfare, information warfare, and cyber are becoming increasingly used across the domains. The battle space has always required information superiority to win. But now, with these trends, we are seeing a race for decision superiority. The distinction? Decision superiority is the ability to quickly aggregate, process, and deliver that information to make decisions faster than our near-peer adversaries. Think about how complex the battle space is becoming and what we ask our warfighters to do. Every one of those sensors that we are deploying is creating data that has to be aggregated at the edge, analyzed using artificial intelligence, and delivered to one of our warfighters, and it has to be done faster than our near-peer adversaries. And while each of these technologies offers an advantage, they also create an opportunity for our adversaries to hack our devices, to spoof our systems, to attack our platforms. And our adversaries are creating similar capabilities to compete in the digital battle space. Our shift towards the Pacific is also a shift towards a more technologically advanced adversary that will try to outpace our digital capabilities. That is complex. So how do we prepare our warfighters for tomorrow's battles? How do we prepare them for a rapidly changing threat environment of a more digital battle space? How do we prepare them so they truly trust all of the technologies that we are introducing to the battle space and enable them to operate in a truly joint environment? We have the responsibility to ensure that the training for our warfighters prepares them for tomorrow's digital battle space. At Booz Allen, we do that in 3 ways. First, focus on data-driven results. When we are building solutions to train our warfighters for live, virtual, or constructive training, we must quantitatively prove how our solutions enhance mission effectiveness. On February 22nd, 2018, I met with Sergeant Major Dan Daly, who was the 15th Sergeant Major of the U.S. Army. We were sitting in our Booz Allen Innovation Center just a few blocks from the White House. We had a few hours with him that day that mostly included demos culminating in immersive solutions that were not even on the market yet. And we were excited about the tech and to show him the latest integration of immersive, haptics, and artificial intelligence. At the end of the demos, we had a robust conversation about the introduction of more immersive and gaming technologies into training. His concern was that the technology could untrain his soldiers. And while I had heard that concern before, that conversation focused us to double down on quantitatively measuring effectiveness and performance, the MOEs and MOPs, so we could prove that the training solutions that we were introducing were in fact enhancing mission effectiveness of his soldiers. We all need to challenge ourselves to do better. It's not good enough to just introduce innovative technology for training. We have to quantitatively measure the impact of that tech on cognitive and physical performance that ultimately enhances readiness. The second way that we need to ensure that training prepares our warfighters for tomorrow's battle space is to deliver open solutions. The threat environment changes much more rapidly in a digital battle space, and our overall training solutions have to outpace the threats. It requires we not only continue to advance training with new methods and technologies, but to deliver robust enough solutions to handle unexpected future events. Few companies brag about their closed proprietary solutions. Everybody markets an open architecture, but we all don't have a common definition of open. We have to build government-owned APIs to establish the standards so as each of us build training solutions for a particular threat, we are able to quickly integrate those solutions into joint training environments. The digital battle space is not a single monolithic solution. It's a network of sensors and systems and capabilities that, when combined, create overmatch. Our training solutions have to be the same, and we get there through an open training ecosystem. The last way that we need to prepare our warfighters for tomorrow's digital battle space is with speed. We have to increase our velocity in delivering integrated training solutions to the point of need. So how do we do that? The first is through a more consistently streamlined acquisition process. Our current acquisition process is flexible enough that we don't necessarily need to change it. But how we implement it to achieve results is inconsistent. To our government partners, the more information we have about the problems you're trying to solve, and the more collaborative the process, the better the solution. Establish multi-step procurements and include demos so we can show you the solutions. Industry, we have to commit to open solutions if we want to increase the speed to deliver joint training capabilities to the warfighters. We all have the ability to develop rapid point solutions, but if those point solutions can't connect, we are simply limiting their usefulness in a joint environment. A few years ago, we were training deploying active guard and reserve forces and responding to the increased threat of drone attacks on the battlefield. We all had a sense of urgency because of upcoming deployments and the increased use of drones. Within just 6 weeks of validating the problem, the Acquisition Center processed the action. We designed and developed a VR solution using COTS capabilities, validated it with multiple soldier touchpoints, and shipped the devices for training. Within 12 weeks, we had equipped 20 systems to the CENTCOM AOR and an additional 20 systems to CONUS and OCONUS training locations. There are over 122 systems in use today that are rapidly updated to address the evolving drone threat and new counter systems. We have replicated that process on all of our training contracts. Increasing the velocity to deliver joint training capabilities is going to be critical in a digital battle space, and it takes a strong partnership between government and industry to optimize speed to market. In the digital battle space, time is everything, and we can no longer be assured of a technology advantage. All of us as a community, government and industry, have the mission of enabling the warfighters of this nation to maintain the readiness and tactical edge needed to prevail. Through data-driven, open, and rapidly delivered training, we can help the men and women who serve master tomorrow's joint multi-domain battle space and win the race for decision superiority.